Have you ever felt powerless against the constant storms life throws your way, as if your own mind betrays you when you need it most? Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor renowned for his Stoic wisdom, wasn't just offering comfort or hollow reassurance. He provided timeless instructions. His message was clear and potent. External circumstances will forever remain beyond your direct control. However, your mind is eternally within your command. This profound realization unlocks resilience, endurance, and inner peace. In this video, we will unravel the art and discipline of cultivating a mindset that remains unbreakable, steadfastly calm, and resilient, even in the harshest storms of life's chaos. Imagine you're sailing in a small boat on the open ocean. The sky suddenly darkens. The waves rise and crash fiercely against your tiny vessel. Anxiety grips your chest as you frantically try to control the wind, the waves, the very storm itself. It's absurd, isn't it? Yet this scenario parallels how most of us respond to life's challenges. We exhaust ourselves attempting to control everything around us, oblivious to the reality that some things are simply beyond our influence. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, introduced a critical concept called the dichotomy of control. They argued that peace and strength come from clearly understanding what we can and cannot influence. Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Consider the anxiety we face today over social media validation, career uncertainty, relationships, finances, and global events. We live in a constant state of mental siege, driven by the illusion that we must, and even can, control every outcome. The truth, however, is liberating yet initially uncomfortable. Most things in life are completely outside our control. Accepting this fact isn't defeatism, it's realism, and it's the first step toward building an unbreakable mind. When you learn to let go of the uncontrollable, you regain your energy and focus for the things genuinely within your power, your actions, thoughts, and responses. Realize that anxiety often arises from futile attempts to manage external circumstances rather than from the circumstances themselves. Take a moment and consider your daily stressors. Ask yourself honestly, how many of these concerns involve things truly within my ability to control? You'll find, more often than not, that your distress stems from holding tightly to the uncontrollable. The Stoic path suggests a radical yet profoundly peaceful shift. Redirect your efforts inward. Control your perceptions, manage your responses, and accept external outcomes with composure and grace. By clearly distinguishing between what you can influence and what you must accept, you begin to free yourself from needless suffering. It's not passive resignation. It's active clarity. It's the first step toward a mind that remains unbreakable in any storm. Marcus Aurelius wrote, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. This insight reveals a profound yet overlooked truth. Our perception shapes our entire reality. The events in our lives are neutral until we give them meaning. How we interpret our experiences dictates our emotional responses, decisions, and ultimately, our destiny. Imagine two people experiencing the same setback, perhaps a job loss or the end of a relationship. One views it as catastrophic, spiraling into despair. The other sees it as an opportunity, a fresh start. The event is identical, yet their perceptions lead them down vastly different paths. This phenomenon isn't trivial, it's foundational. Your perceptions influence your emotions, which dictate your actions, which then form your life. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics believed deeply in cultivating deliberate and disciplined perceptions. They taught that hardship isn't a misfortune, but rather a powerful teacher. To harness the power of perception, you must first become aware of it. Begin by observing your reactions to minor inconveniences, traffic jams, rude comments, or technical glitches. Notice how swiftly irritation arises. Pause for a moment. Is this annoyance objectively necessary, or merely your interpretation? Often, you'll realize that the frustration is self-generated. Now extend this practice to greater challenges. When facing criticism, rejection, or failure, consciously choose to see these events as tools, not as obstacles. Criticism becomes valuable feedback. Rejection redirects you to better opportunities, and failure becomes vital information, guiding future actions. By actively reframing your perceptions, you rewrite your mental script. Events no longer control you. Instead, your perspective shapes events. Master this skill, and you'll find that adversity becomes fuel for growth rather than a barrier to your success. Your perception is your greatest tool. Sharpen it with deliberate practice, and you will unlock a mindset resilient enough to withstand any challenge. Imagine a fire. When fueled recklessly, it can destroy. But when controlled and directed, it can forge steel. Your emotions are no different. Left unchecked, they can cause chaos, burning bridges, and sabotaging your goals. But when understood and disciplined, they become a source of immense power, fuel for resilience, strength, and wise action. Marcus Aurelius knew the dangers of emotional reactivity. He warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Notice he didn't say, "Suppress your feelings." Instead, he urged mastery. Emotional discipline doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means becoming sovereign over your internal world, so that no matter what chaos whirls around you, your center holds. When you are insulted, criticized, or betrayed, your primitive brain fires off alarms. It screams for revenge, retaliation, immediate emotional release. But the Stoic mind, the unbreakable mind, pauses. It observes the initial emotional wave without immediately acting on it. Here's a practical framework you can start applying today. Step 1. Pause. When provoked, do nothing. Say nothing. Give yourself space. Step 2. Observe. Name the emotion. Is it anger, hurt, fear? Step 3. Question. Why has this specific event triggered you? What value, fear, or insecurity has been touched? Step 4. Choose. After you have observed, consciously decide your response. Choose action aligned with your long-term goals and values. Marcus Aurelius himself endured betrayal by friends, political conspiracies, and personal losses, yet he remained composed. His journals are filled with reminders to himself, when someone does you wrong, they harm themselves, not you. Building emotional discipline requires practice. Start small. The next time you're irritated in traffic, when a coworker speaks sharply, or when technology fails you, pause, observe, question, choose. Each small victory compounds into greater emotional sovereignty. Emotional discipline doesn't eliminate pain or discomfort. Instead, it transforms your relationship with them. Emotions become teachers rather than tyrants. They serve your higher self rather than ruling you. The truly unbreakable mind does not deny emotions. It honors them, but refuses to be ruled by them. Imagine clinging tightly to a tree branch during a flood. The waters rage and rise around you. The harder you hold, the more exhausted you become, until eventually the current tears you away. This is the relationship many of us have with life, a desperate clinging to things we cannot ultimately hold. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Impermanence isn't a cruel trick played by the universe. It is the very fabric of existence. Everything you cherish, your relationships, possessions, achievements, even your own body, will eventually change, decay, or end. This truth, when resisted, creates endless suffering, but when embraced, it becomes the source of unimaginable freedom. We live under the illusion that stability is normal and change is disruptive. In reality, change is the default. Stillness, permanence, those are the rare miracles. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about preparing oneself for loss, not as a morbid exercise, but as a way to sharpen gratitude and deepen resilience. How would you treat your loved ones if you remembered, vividly and tenderly, that they will not be here forever? How would you savor your morning coffee, the sunlight on your skin, the simple act of breathing, if you understood these too are temporary gifts? Embracing impermanence doesn't mean detachment from joy. It means a deeper engagement with it, a fierce, honest appreciation of what is, precisely because it will not last. Here is a practical exercise inspired by Stoic reflection. Memento mori. Daily, remind yourself that you and everything you experience are temporary, not in a grim way, but as a call to live fully. Negative visualization. Occasionally imagine losing something you value. Visualize it vividly, then return to it in gratitude, savoring it more deeply because you imagined its absence. Acceptance training. Practice saying to yourself when small inconveniences arise, "This too is natural. This too will pass." Impermanence humbles the ego. It dissolves petty grievances. It places our problems in cosmic perspective. When you truly understand impermanence, you cease grasping so desperately at life. Instead, you open your hands to it. You stop fearing loss, and in doing so, you unlock the deepest layers of peace, resilience, and presence. The unbreakable mind is not the mind that resists change. It is the mind that rides the waves of change with grace, gratitude, and unwavering inner strength. Imagine standing before a towering wall, smooth, impenetrable. For many, this is where they stop, where dreams die, where goals are abandoned. But Marcus Aurelius offers a different perspective. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Adversity, he teaches us, is not something to be avoided. It is the raw material from which strength is forged. To build an unbreakable mind, you must not merely endure adversity. You must embrace it, study it, and even welcome it. Every obstacle placed before you carries within it the seeds of your transformation. The challenge you face is not arbitrary cruelty. It is your personal invitation to evolve. Think back to the most defining moments of your life. Were they times of comfort, or were they born from struggle, hardship, and the burning need to rise above? When you begin to see adversity as training, essential, irreplaceable training, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Practical ways to face adversity head-on. Reframe the obstacle. Instead of viewing difficulties as dead ends, see them as hidden paths. Every setback holds a lesson or a redirection. Seek voluntary discomfort. Introduce small hardships into your life: cold showers, fasting, difficult conversations. Build your tolerance for discomfort on your own terms. Journal adversity. Each evening, reflect on your struggles of the day. What did they reveal about your character? How can they sharpen you for tomorrow? Mantras of endurance. Create personal phrases to anchor yourself in tough moments. Marcus often reminded himself, endure and abstain. The key to resilience is not avoiding hardship, but metabolizing it, turning pain into wisdom, transforming resistance into power. An unbreakable mind doesn't just withstand adversity, it feeds on it. It sees obstacles not as threats to survival, but as the forge in which greatness is shaped. Remember, the wall you face is not a barrier. It is a mirror. It shows you what you are made of. And when you push through, you discover that what once seemed immovable was only a doorway disguised as stone. Imagine walking into a dense forest after a rainstorm. The world is silent, except for the gentle dripping of water from the leaves. There is a calm so profound, it feels like time itself has slowed down. In that stillness, clarity emerges. You see the path before you. You hear your own heartbeat. You understand. In our modern world, stillness is a forgotten art. We are bombarded with noise, urgency, distraction, notifications, advertisements, endless demands on our attention. Yet Marcus Aurelius reminds us, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. The unbreakable mind requires a sanctuary within, a place untouched by chaos, a place you can retreat to, no matter the noise around you. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It is about returning to the source of your strength, your own centered awareness. From stillness comes wisdom. From wisdom comes clarity. From clarity comes decisive action. Here are practices to cultivate stillness and clarity in your life. Morning solitude. Begin each day with 5 minutes of silence before you touch your phone or engage with the world. Let your mind settle. Midday check-in. Pause halfway through your day. Close your eyes. Take 5 deep breaths. Ask yourself, am I aligned with my highest purpose today? Evening reflection. Before sleep, journal a few lines. What went well today? What would I improve? How did I meet adversity? This anchors your mind in conscious awareness. Nature immersion. Spend time in nature without distractions. Walk slowly. Listen. Let the rhythms of the natural world recalibrate your inner world. Stillness is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without it, you are swept away by every urgency, every fear, every petty concern. With it, you become immovable, discerning, and wise. Clarity does not come from thinking harder. It comes from clearing away the noise so that the truth can rise naturally to the surface. An unbreakable mind knows when to act fiercely and when to be still like the mountain, unmoved by the howling winds. Stillness is strength. Clarity is power. Together, they form the core of the unbreakable mind. There is a profound strength in simply choosing to live by your own standards. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In a world obsessed with image, appearances, and endless signaling, integrity is a radical act. It is the invisible armor that shields your mind from the opinions, manipulations, and pressures of others. Integrity means living in alignment with your highest values, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one is watching, even when you stand to lose something by doing so. It is the commitment to be internally consistent, regardless of external rewards or punishments. When you live with integrity, you grant yourself an immense gift, self-respect. And self-respect is a cornerstone of an unbreakable mind. Without integrity, your mind fractures. You say one thing but do another. You betray your own ideals to win approval or to avoid discomfort. Over time, this erosion creates anxiety, self-loathing, and weakness. With integrity, your mind becomes a fortress. Criticism stings less. Praise seduces less. You navigate life from within, not swayed by every passing wind. Practical ways to cultivate integrity and self-respect. Define your core values. Write down the 5 principles you refuse to compromise on, no matter the cost. Small daily promises. Make tiny commitments to yourself and keep them. Integrity is built in the details. Private victories. Do the right thing even when no one will know, especially then. Audit your life. Regularly ask yourself, where am I compromising my values for comfort, approval, or fear? Living with integrity requires courage. It often means choosing the harder path, saying no when it would be easier to say yes, standing alone when it would be easier to join the crowd, speaking the truth when silence would cost you less. But every act of integrity strengthens your spirit. Every choice to honor your principles, however small, fortifies the foundation of your mind. The unbreakable mind is not built overnight. It is built choice by choice, promise by promise, moment by moment. Integrity is not perfection. You will fail sometimes. You will fall short. But each time you rise, each time you reaffirm your commitment to your values, you forge a mind that can withstand any storm. To build an unbreakable mind, you must first become someone you can trust, especially when life gets hard. Integrity is the path. Self-respect is the reward. And together, they make you unbreakable. Imagine the slow, steady drip of water carving a canyon through stone. Not through force, not through speed, but through persistence. Patient, unwavering, eternal. This is endurance. Marcus Aurelius understood that most people fail not because they lack talent, vision, or opportunity, but because they lack the patience to endure. In his writings, he returns again and again to the virtue of perseverance. You must build up your life action by action and be content if each achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this. The unbreakable mind is not built in moments of triumph. It is built in the unseen hours when you keep moving forward despite the fatigue, the boredom, the setbacks, the doubts. Endurance is not glamorous. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It doesn't seek applause. It is the quiet, stubborn refusal to give up. It is getting up one more time than you fall. It is showing up for yourself even when no one else notices. Building endurance requires a long-term vision. Know what you are working toward. Endurance is fueled by purpose. Micro goals. Break down enormous challenges into manageable steps. Focus on the next small victory. Self-compassion. Expect setbacks. When you stumble, do not self-destruct. Forgive yourself quickly and recommit. Rituals of renewal. Rest is part of endurance. Build rhythms into your life that allow for recovery and reflection. Most people quit when things get hard. Most people surrender to the first wave of exhaustion, doubt, or resistance. But you are not most people. When you train yourself to endure, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. You become rare. You become resilient. You become unstoppable. Marcus endured political betrayal, personal loss, physical illness, and the crushing responsibilities of empire. Yet he wrote calmly, persistently, seeking wisdom in every hardship. He saw life not as a series of obstacles to complain about, but as a series of tests to be met with strength and dignity. The unbreakable mind understands this truth. It's not the intensity of your passion that defines you. It's the endurance of your commitment. Anyone can burn brightly for a day. Few can burn steadily for a lifetime. Endurance makes all other virtues possible. Without it, courage collapses, wisdom fades, and strength erodes. Endurance is the slow, silent power that shapes mountains, forges characters, and builds legacies. If you want to build an unbreakable mind, then endure. Endure when it's boring. Endure when it's hard. Endure when it's thankless. Endure and become unstoppable. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of your circumstances. The same strength that shaped the minds of emperors and sages lies within you, waiting to be awakened. Building an unbreakable mind is not a single decision. It is a daily practice, a commitment, a way of life. Remember, resilience is not given. It is forged. Clarity is not found. It is cultivated. Strength is not inherited. It is built, choice by choice, day by day. If you are ready to step onto this path, to reclaim your mind, your strength, your life, then take action. Subscribe to this channel for more timeless wisdom, powerful strategies, and deep reflections to fuel your inner transformation. And more importantly, begin today. Apply what you've learned. Reflect, act, endure. You have the tools, you have the power. Now it's time to build your unbreakable mind. How will you apply Marcus Aurelius's wisdom today to strengthen your mind? Leave the words "unbreakable mind" in the comments to affirm your commitment and to let the world know that you are rising. Together, let's build a community of resilience, strength, and unstoppable growth. Your journey begins now.